When it becomes nighttime, you don't become weaker, you become tired. When you're tired, you can't resist any urge that you feel. If you don't know me, my name is Krishna, and I help young men quit their porn addictions. A couple years ago, when I was addicted to porn, there would be really two main times I would relapse every single day. It would either be right after school, or it would be at night in my room at 11:30 p.m. when literally nobody was there. I remember during those times, I felt wired, but tired. I was awake, I was stressed, but I was tired. I was really, really fatigued. Those are the times when, after a long day of playing Fortnite and Call of Duty and going to a school that I didn't even want to go to, I'd go to my room, I'd scroll on my phone most of the time until literally 12 a.m. And then, out of just sheer boredom, I would watch porn because I wanted to. I was bored, but I was also tired. When you're tired, when you're fatigued, your executive function, your brain's executive function, your ability to resist and think and do all this stuff completely drops off. When you get an urge and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you can't think your way out of there. You can try, right? You can absolutely try and think your way out of there, but it's not going to work. Most times you can't think your way out of, I guess, overthinking, for example, because but when I used to get an urge, I would be constantly overthinking, I would be overanalyzing, I would be, why am I feeling this? I gotta resist that, I gotta resist this. When it's 1 a.m., you're tired, bro. You don't want to try and resist the urge. You can't think your way out of overthinking. You can't think your way out of a relapse at 1 in the morning. It's just not possible. Not only is it way harder to resist the urge when it becomes nighttime, because of the fact that you're wired but tired, you're fatigued, but also because there's literally nobody there. There's no one there. When you go to school, you don't relapse, do you? Now, some of you might. You might be one of the guys who might go into the bathroom during class and do that, in which case, I can relate. I used to do that too, I'm not gonna lie. But more chances than not, most of the time when you're around other people, when you're going about your day, when you're at school, you don't relapse. You might get bored, you might get tired, you might get stressed about something, sure. Right, and those are common triggers for porn addiction, but you don't, generally speaking, you don't relapse when you're around other people. Why? Because yes, it is socially taboo to do those type of things. Now, do some guys do that? Of course, right? Some guys, they literally have zero self-control, and so they do it in class sometimes. If there's no social friction at all, then you're much more likely to relapse as well. Because if it's just you and you're on your bed and you're scrolling through your phone, that's the perfect recipe for relapsing. That is literally the perfect recipe. If you wanted to create an environment to maximize the likelihood that you would relapse, that you would watch porn again, it would be that. It would be you, tired, fatigued, late at night, with nobody around. How do you deal with this? If you're somebody who keeps relapsing late at night and you're struggling to not do that, and you're struggling to, how do I fight those urges late at night, especially when you're tired? Because it's really, really hard to do. It is very, very hard. The power of the urge gets amplified when you're tired because you just can't resist it. It's very, very hard to resist it. The reason why you keep relapsing over and over and over again is that, especially late at night, is because that's become part of your daily routine. You coming home from school and going on your phone and playing Call of Duty and then scrolling on Instagram and whatnot. There's a specific order that you do things in throughout the day, generally speaking. That becomes part of your daily routine. And when that is part of your daily routine, it just becomes automatic. You just do it like that. And so, nighttime, you need a wind down ritual. You need to be able to say, hey, no phones, no screens, no technology or something like 8 p.m. Everything shuts down at 8 p.m. Let's say you have to go to bed at 9 p.m. because you got school early in the morning. Everything shut off at 8 p.m. No phone, no music, no nothing. You go in your room, maybe you do some stretching, maybe you read a book or something like that, and then you go to bed. That's a consistent, healthy, that's just an example of a consistent, healthy nighttime routine. The action step that I would give you is just to follow a simple nighttime protocol. The one I'll give you is this. An hour or two before your bedtime, take your phone and put it away. Put it in a cupboard, put it in a drawer, put it in another room ideally. So you don't see it and you don't have to use it and you don't think about watching porn. You don't think about it. Charge it somewhere else. Grab a book, read it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Eventually, if you're bored enough, because a lot of books are kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. But eventually, yeah, if you are bored enough because of the book, you're gonna start to fall asleep. You take the book and then you take the book, you put it away, and then you just go to bed. You can do that. That's a simple nighttime routine where literally you just take your phone, you put it away, grab a book, read it until you get bored, and then go to bed. Pretty straightforward. But the thing is that does work. That's what worked for me personally. And if you do feel an urge to watch porn, then just leave the room, because your environment plays a huge role in how you feel and how you make decisions as well. If you feel an urge, then don't stay in the same room. Go to a different room. If you're serious about learning how to quit your porn addiction and you want a step-by-step free guide on how to actually stop relapsing, right? Because there's a lot of advice on the internet which tells you to just go do push-ups and take cold showers and just resist, bro. But that doesn't really help anybody. If you've been trying to quit porn for a long time, but you keep relapsing and you keep getting to day 3, day 4, and you tell yourself that this is the last time I'm gonna do it, this is the last time I'm gonna relapse. And then a couple of days later, you end up doing it again, and then doing it again, and again. And if you find yourself in that cycle and you actually want to break free from that, I have a completely free guide. You can go and you can click the first link in the description down below if you want to check it out. It's completely free. Take care, bro.